Hey everybody, Robot here from Vespa Motorsport and ScooterWest.com, the premier dealership for the Vespa scooter. So there's a question I get asked a lot when people buy brand new scooters. Can we get rid of those stickers that are on the scooter? Yes, seriously, there's decals and stickers, and it's kind of a popular trend with both the Vespa and the Piaggio lineup coming out with sticker packages. Some people love them. Some people don't. So today I'm going to show you how to remove those decals. Maybe you just want to replace them. Almost all the decal packages are available as spare parts, and we have most of them in stock at ScooterWest.com under the OEM part number typically. But there's a lot of questions on how to remove them, and I'm going to show you all the tricks of the trade to remove the decals. Specifically on this 2023 brand new 946 Rabbit. Well, if you know the Chinese zodiacs, there's 12 of them. We're going to go all the way around, so they're going to supposedly do all 12. You think they're going to do the rat as the 12th one? I don't know. We'll see what this looks like in about 10 years from now. But the Rabbit's passed. We're not going to see another Rabbit for a while. Definitely probably not in the 946. I think the 946 will be phased out in 11 years. It'll be some futuristic electric hybrid, whatever, something another. Who knows? Maybe we'll go back to the dark ages and it will be a shifting two-stroke scooter that will make everybody happy. Except for the environment, of course. But we're going to remove the decals, kind of give it a clean slate look. We have this scooter available at Vespa Motorsport if you're looking for a 946. And if you do love the decals, I got the decals in stock and I'll be happy to put them back on for you. So let's get right to it. I'm going to show you the tricks and the tools that you need. So first of all, you're going to need a heat gun. A lot of people would be afraid to use something like this because if you read the temperatures on these, they get like 700 degrees Fahrenheit, like 350 degrees Celsius, somewhere in that range. Well, guess what? If you put the scooter out on a sunny day in Arizona where it's like the ambient temperature is like 110 or about 45 degrees Celsius, well, the actual temperature of the scooter will probably be just perfect to start peeling these decals off. And another tip is if they're really fresh decals, a lot of times you just take your nail and just get right under them. Today it's probably like 75 degrees. I could actually start picking them off. It's a lot of work and it's likely to gonna leave some residue behind. So heat's always gonna be your #1 friend for getting these decals off. There's another tool. Sometimes you wanna have a plastic scraper to kind of get them started if you don't wanna use your nails to do that. Kind of does the same thing. It's got a nice sharp edge. We have those Scooter West pry tools, just a basic little pry tool set. That would be a nylon that's stiff enough with a little sharp edge to get started. You can either use isopropyl alcohol, like a high grade version of it. This is actually like a specific adhesive remover. It's definitely not as strong as something like acetone or mineral spirits, but it's a little bit stronger than isopropyl alcohol. But the isopropyl alcohol, WD-40, Goo Gone, any of those products will work. You can find those pretty easily. This industrial adhesive remover is something you could find at like a paint and body shop, and you have a terry cloth to go along with it. So I'll probably use some of that. And the last tool, not 100% necessary. If I had real stubborn decals that have been on a scooter for about 15 years, they're going to be stuck on there pretty good. Same with like the badges. Like these badges are all adhered on, and they make this product that goes on the end of a drill. This one's a little wobbly because it's been used quite a bit, and I think they're called like an Astro adhesive eraser or Astro vinyl eraser. You can find them at paint and body shops for supply shops, or even probably Amazon. But you put it on the end of a drill, and it's kind of the same material as a really hard eraser, like a pencil eraser. Pretty similar, and it will take the adhesive away. Let's get right started. Of course, I'm not going to bore you with the minute, 30, 40 minutes it's going to take to remove all the decals, but if you want to watch it all, keep on watching. I'll probably speed up once I quit talking about removing decals here. So I'm going to start with these like eyelashes right here, as I like to call them. Get rid of those first. I do have an infrared temperature gun that could be useful. So the temperature of that surface with the laser is about 84 degrees Fahrenheit. A lot of people probably ask, can you use a hairdryer? Well, that works as well. They're about the same BTU output or heat output, about 1500 watts, just like a heat gun. The main difference between a hairdryer and a heat gun is the volume of air. A heat gun's a real low volume, higher temperature, while a hairdryer is a very high volume. So it's since you're pushing a lot more air with a hairdryer, which is great for drying hair or drying something that's fibrous, where you have a lot of air going through, it's not going to be as effective on a solid surface like this steel here. So, but obviously the heat gun's going to be a little more dangerous because it does put out a much higher temperature. I'm going to put it on low setting. There's 2 settings. You don't need that fancy one. I don't know, this is a pretty cheap one right here. And it's pretty much instantly hot, but I can put my hand here and I'm still holding my hand there. It's not really burning me yet. It's starting to get hot and you want to just move pretty fast. So I'm going to kind of sweep this whole area. I'm going to get it right up to about 125 degrees Fahrenheit, which is probably about as hot as I want to touch. You could get up to about 150 degrees probably safely. You just want to keep it off like things like the plastic or some of the parts that are plastic, you're going to need to be a little bit more careful. But the paint itself will hold up just fine to that high temperature. All right, there we are, right about 125 degrees. I can touch it, no problem. And it's going to cool off pretty quick, especially at the ambient temperature. Probably the best way to do this out in the sun. And I just got my nail under there and just start peeling. If you peel too fast sometimes, you will end up having some adhesive left behind. But I'm kind of working just fast enough because the temperature is coming down pretty quick on this. Keep in mind, if you're doing this on an older scooter, you may very well find that the paint is faded a little bit underneath the paint. So this scooter's pretty much been in our showroom, so not an issue, but this one is definitely leaving some adhesive behind. Yeah, I can feel the adhesive on all those. So there we go. So what's left behind is mostly adhesive. And when you use either the solvent or the mechanical adhesive remover, you do want to let it cool back down. I mean, it's probably, I would say 100 degrees right now. But just to show you how this works, this is a pretty wobbly one. I should get a new one. It kind of smears it away. It's like an eraser. You see it looks just like eraser residue here. But usually if they're pretty fresh stickers, I find the mechanical adhesive eraser is actually much slower than using a chemical, a light duty solvent chemical to remove the adhesive. But the adhesive's all pretty much gone. There's a little bit of it smeared up there. And you probably want to have it pretty cool with the chemical because these are usually higher flash point solvents. So, and I'll use something like a terry cloth because it's got like a more abrasive surface, but it's definitely still pretty soft on the paint. And you can see how quickly that acts on it. And obviously move the rag around quite frequently because you don't want to be scratching the paint with whatever you're kind of buffing out. So pretty much I got almost all those. I kind of want to use the light to kind of look at it. I'm changing my angle. Obviously the easiest one was the adhesive I mechanically removed. That went pretty easy there. I mean, you could use a combination of both, like loosen up with that adhesive remover, but just continue to work with, make sure you have a clean part of the rag with clean solvent. And obviously something like this, you got to be careful. If you push too hard into the paint or spin it up way too fast, it could damage the clear coat on the paint. So Really, you should get a new one. This one's pretty wobbly here. Or cut it, you know, cut it down. There we go. So just a couple boogers left behind there, as I like to call them. Can anybody guess the first Vespas that had decals on them? It would be probably the 1973 Rally that had the rally stripes on the cowls, and they were pretty early use of vinyl decals that Vespa implemented. And then nowadays, you know, there's quite a few different special edition Vespas, whether it's the Vibe or even the Liberty 68. But I think they call it the Rally 68. You got all the Super Sports, the Super Techs, they all have decals on it. And there we go, I don't really feel any more adhesive. If there's any types of swirls from the rag, you can come back over this with a real light duty rubbing compound, either a machine rubbing compound or a hand compound. Probably more likely a hand compound on a brand new scooter. So, and I'm sure you could find videos on how to buff the clear coat on the painted finish. It's pretty much the same steps as you would do with a car. So. And if it doesn't want to pull out from the trim, so what I like to do is keep a little pressure on it. And I don't want to cut through the clear coat, but it only takes a very minor score with like a number 11 X-Acto blade. And if you keep pressure on it, whatever remaining decal will kind of recede into that trim. So you just carefully run the across, and that one's showing a little bit. I'll probably do some cleanup. And now all we have is the adhesive to clean up. So I'll work with the magic eraser along with the solvent and get that adhesive off. All right, so now I'm working on the last of these decals on the front. One thing to note is these decals are kind of made out of a material that's clear, and they tend to want to leave the adhesive behind on the bodywork of the scooter. I've removed the decals from the Justin Bieber, and I would say something like the Vibe or the Super Sport. Those are more of a true opaque vinyl decal, and they tend to pull up much easier. This is definitely the harder style, and I know they're a little bit thinner than the vinyl, you know, just the standard vinyl opaque decals. So kind of the same techniques, just heating up. Another product you could use is something like denatured alcohol. That's pretty safe on the paint. It will, if you keep on putting it into the clear coat, you will feel some resistance, and that's the clear coat actually softening up. So be careful with that. It's a little more aggressive. I don't have Goo Gone here, but that's like a product you could buy somewhere like Walmart. It's a pretty common household product, so that's another option. And sometimes you just get lucky. You have those vinyl decals that all the adhesive stays behind with the decals, so you don't have anything left behind. So I'm gonna remove these eyelashes off this fender here, and they're just like all the other ones, leaving adhesive behind. But they're nice and hot, and they peel real easy. Just my nail here. I definitely got that one a little hotter. This is actually, the fender's made of aluminum on this, so it's definitely soaked the heat up a little bit more than the steel body that's got a lot more mass to it. I can tell you probably my preferred method is a combination of the mechanical removal and then kind of finish it up with the solvent. So that's what it took to get just that first one off with the denatured alcohol, and I can just start to feel it soften up. So chime in the comments. What do you think about how the 946 looks without the decals? Kind of the classic 946, the way it's always been with no decals. What's your thoughts on the Chinese Zodiac 946? Are they really going to get through all 12 years of the Zodiacs? Kind of curious myself. All right, well, thanks for watching. This is Robot here from Vespa Motorsport and ScooterWest.com. In the comments, let me know what you think. You like the scooter with the bunny stickers, or you like it just in its clean, original form? See you on the next one. Robot here from ScooterWest.com and Vespa Motorsport.